Congratulations, James and Cassandra. Love you too. Good morning. My name is Joe Cashwell with Rotorcraft Pro Solutions. Here's our biggest. So right now, this is our largest portable 12S system. This will charge lipos from 2S to 12S, 8 independent channels, and also has discharge capability. So the client already has one of our cases. They just wanted to go from 4 to 8 channels, so we built them one that's a little bit bigger. This has XT90s and the AS150U and Molex connectors. Now we can configure to anything that fits your needs. If you need the JSTXH 13 position, we can put that in. We have XT60s, XT90s, and the AS150Us, the Molex, and then basically we can do anything that you want. If we need to custom make a PCB board to mount your connector to it, we can do that also. So when we started building cases, the typical lipo that we would charge would be a 6S5000. This was really easy to do, and almost every charger on the market could handle something like this. Some just had a little bit better final charge than others, but all chargers could charge this. Then the lipos started getting a little bit bigger. So this is a 6S7000. Still, almost every charger on the market could charge this in a reasonable amount of time. Some took a little bit longer, but you could still charge this. Then the drones and some aircraft started getting more demanding. The lipos got up to a 10,000 milliamp pack, still a 6S, so almost every charger on the market could handle a 6S. And with this being a 10 amp lipo, if you wanted to charge it 1C, almost every charger on the market could handle. Drones got larger, more demanding. Once again, still a 6S pack. This is a high voltage, but this is 25,000 milliamps, 25 amps. A lot of chargers can charge this, just not at 1 or 2C that some people want. We always recommend on the commercial drones to do 1C, but 25 amps, a lot of chargers, it just started getting above what they could do. And then if you wanted to charge multiple of these, it took a lot of chargers right out of the picture. So then drone manufacturers and heavy lift aircraft manufacturers, they started going with 12S. So this is basically 2 6S packs in series inside of this. There's 12 cells inside of this. So with this, it took 99% of the chargers right out of the picture. They don't have the capability of doing 12S. This case can do 12S. And not only can it do that 12S, it can do this 12S. So now we're getting into bigger packs. This is a pretty hefty pack. There's drones out there that take multiple of these to fly. A lot of power coming out of this. This is a 16 amp pack right here. They have bigger ones also. The dilemma for us is there was only 1 or 2 manufacturers that made a charger. And unfortunately, the one that we used had no discharge capabilities. We've been promised for 3 years now that they were going to make a discharger, and they have yet to do it. So iCharger came out with a whole new line for the last year and a half, 2 years. 308 is now a 458. So the 30 stands for 30 amps and 8 is 8S. So their 308 is a 458. Their 406 is a 456, and their 4010 is a 4512 now. So all of them have 45 amps, maximum 45 amps per channel capability. Not too many companies need 45 amps per channel. So like a 12S 16,000, we recommend 1C charging at 16 amps. So I see people all the time, well, you don't have enough power supply to run that. The customer's never going to need it. Why buy a Lamborghini if you're going to the grocery store? Well, let me rephrase that. That's a bad analogy, because I want a Lamborghini to go to the grocery store. But so this case has plenty of power, and it has multiple mean well power supplies. Once again, the customer has multiple options. They have several drones that fly LiDAR, and they have several options for battery connections on the deck to meet the batteries that they already have in inventory. So one of the problems that we have to face and we have to conquer is with 4 4512 chargers in here, if a customer has 8 lipos plugged in and in discharge, we have to be able to get that heat out of the case. That's when the most heat is inside of a case, when you're turning the energy in that lipo into heat to discharge it. So we went with a 93 millimeter fan. And the way we have the engine stacking is these fans blow directly across the heat sinks. We have found this to be the best and most efficient way to get the heat out of this case. And as you see, we have some extra porting in this case for letting that heat egress out of the case. And we have a ton here in the back. With all of our Pro cases, we do safety meshes. The client has plenty of storage in this case. We put a second strap on this because this door is so large, not that it takes it to hold. This is not a shelf, people. I see pictures, people send me pictures and they got stuff stacked on this. It's not a shelf, but everybody uses it as a shelf. So we're being a little bit of proactive on safety here and putting a second cable stay on it. I love my customers, but they drive me crazy sometimes. But so this case is an incredible powerhouse. We have a 2-channel version, which is just channel 1 and channel 2. We have a 4-channel version, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have this beast, which was 8. The 8-channel does have handle and wheels, extending handle and wheels on the case. And we do not penetrate the case at all. We will never put a hole in a case that we're shipping to a customer. We've done it on a couple of display cases. It's not going to happen in a customer's case. So when we power this thing up, you're going to hear these 2 rather large fans power up. New Trix connector twist locks. And once again, we have what we call a hotel meter. Everybody laughs when we tell them this story, because the last thing we want is a commercial client or even a hobbyist to go to a hotel and be charging lipos overnight and trip a breaker. That's really hard to explain how the big black box tripped the breaker in a hotel room when you're standing at the front counter begging to get the breaker flipped back. So what these do is this: when you're charging, this gives you the amount of current and a wattage that you're drawing. So we just tell everybody to stay below 15 amps and don't turn on the microwave or the hair dryer in the room while you're running the case. This also works great with generators, because this case works from 90 to 240 volts AC. So it's automatically voltage sensing. You plug it in like we have it plugged into 110 here in the testing room. If we go out in the shop, we plug it into 220, it comes on. If you're traveling around the world and you only got 90 volts or you got 240 volts, anywhere in between those, you plug the case in. At lower voltages, it does run at reduced power. The stack of mean wells that are in here run at reduced power, and you can't get full out of these. But still, once again, we explain to people, if you're charging 16,000 milliamp packs, you're only charging at 16 amps per channel anyways, max. So if you're into 110, you're still going to be able, I recommend like half C when you're on 110. If you're in a residential, we have people that go to Airbnbs and plug in and love jumping breakers in those. And then if you just have a small generator or a pair of small generators, you can still use the case. You're just going to turn your power on your engines down, and it takes a little bit longer to charge. These are 48 volt power supplies. They're mean wells. They're 48 volt power supplies in here. So the engine is not going into a buck boost situation where it becomes even more inefficient. So this is a beautiful case. I love it. We have some new accessories. We have the Molex connector extensions available now. So if you're running these big lipos and you have the Molex connector on the side, you can run these extensions right from the deck. And then of course, like anything else, we always make custom cables for whatever length, whatever connectors you need. So I don't know why Tattoo didn't go uniform with everything, but this is the male housing and the female pin connector, which is completely opposite of this. So this balance connector won't work, and we just have a female to female, male to male pin that we can put in line, and then this will plug right into the battery and then let us use this. This is the one that we have for our shop, but Scott and I were actually talking the other day that we're going to see a little housing that this thing goes into, and if a customer is buying a case. And for another project that we have going on, that's the start of it. You've seen some of the things we've done before. This one's just whole next level stuff. If you have any questions, always email us, message me, text me. If you're a client, you have my cell phone number. Weekends, holidays, whatever. If I'm awake, I'm probably going to reply to you. And I want to thank Cassandra, Hair by Cassandra, for doing me. I don't know if, did that come out right? I don't think she did me. I think she did my hair. But I called her up the other day. I said, I got a couple videos I got to do. Please get me in. And she's like, come right now. And Jacob and I both shot over there. She did a fantastic hair job on my hair. And let me tell you, I look like a caveman. I was so bushy. You can tell when we're on a workathon. I don't stop for haircuts and stuff like that. I'm more worried about my product than my looks, and sometimes it shows. The other 12S packs, this comes with a Molex connector. Well, you can't hover, excuse me.